All right, today we're talking about translation, section 3.2. We're going to jump right into an example here. So on your graph paper, we're going to graph this triangle here. I'm going to give you the coordinates here. So E is negative 5, 4. F is negative 1, 5. And G is negative 2, negative 1. So go ahead and graph those 3 points on your graph paper. You are going to want to graph it on 2 separate graphs because we're going to do 2 different examples with this one. So go ahead and graph it twice. All right, so here we are. On example 1A, you see this form, right? On your notes. Okay, what do you think that T stands for? Close. Translation, specific translation, good. This is in the form of giving us kind of a coordinate look. So it's talking about X and Y. What do you think this means for the X direction? What way are we moving? We're moving side to side. What direction? We're going to go right 6. Why did you say right? Because it's positive. Okay, what do you think that negative 7 means for the Y's? We're going to go down 7. Okay, so what do you think we're going to do to every single point?
Go right 6.
Go right 6, down 7. Go for it. And again, what do we label our new points? What do I label my new points? F primes. Yep, prime.
This is the first example.
Okay, and again, is a translation a rigid motion? Yes or no? Is a translation a rigid motion?
Yeah.
Why?
Doesn't change
Doesn't change
the size.
the size. All we're doing is we're moving it. How can you check if you did it correct?
That's a good question.
If it stayed the same shape, right?
Yes.
So if it stayed the same shape, we probably did it right just as long as you moved it in the correct direction and the right amount. Okay. So on part B, we're going to be dealing with the same shape. I'm just going to put this one in a different color here. I'll use green. Okay. This one, it tells us in words what's happening. So does that make it a little bit easier? Okay. What does it tell us?
11 right, 2 up.
Yep. Right 11 and up 2. So what are we going to do with every point?
Right 11 up 2.
Right. Look at my picture up here. Am I going from the red or from the blue? Which one's my original?
Oh, red.
The red, right? So you should have this on another graph. Okay, so you're going to go on your new graph from the red one here. You're going to go right 11 up 2. Again, it's a rigid motion, so your shape should have stayed the same. All we did was we moved it. All right, looking at example 2, you should see this picture here. With translations, does it matter which one you start from? Like whether you start from the original or the new? Where do you have to start from? You have to go from the original. On your picture here, which one's the original?
The black one.
Yep, this one's our original. How did you know the difference?
The other one says prime.
Yeah, the other one has the prime symbol, so remember that means our new image. Okay, so with these, we want to write our rule. Remember yesterday with our lines of reflection, we were writing a rule for those. Same thing here. We're going to talk about 2 different ways to write the rule, and we're going to practice both of them. Okay, so the first one, make sure you take good notes here. First one is we're going to write it in this form here. Okay, so remember that T just stands for translation. X and Y, we want to know how much we're moving in the X direction, how much we're moving in the Y direction. So if I start from my original, how much am I moving in the X direction? How much? 5. Positive 5 or negative 5? It is positive because we're going right. Now from here, how much am I moving in the Y direction?
Positive 2.
Positive 2. Yep, so this form is written just like this. Okay, so that's a rule for that translation that just happened. Another way that you're going to see quite often is if it's written in this form, x, y, and then x plus or minus something, y plus or minus something. Okay, so we already know that it goes right 5 and up 2. So to write our rule for this one, my original xy coordinate, okay, what happened with our x value? What do we say about our x value? Oh, it was right 5, so that's x plus 5. What about our y value? Y plus 2. Good. So those are two different forms that we're going to see. Okay. Do you agree those two forms say the same thing? Do you agree with that? They do say the same exact thing, just two separate forms there. Okay? All right, go ahead and flip to your example 3. Okay, here we're going to talk about compositions of translations. Okay, what does a composition mean? Or what's it mean to compose things? Put them together, right? In Algebra 1, you might have seen something like this, f of g of x or f of g of x. You remember those? Seen these before? It's when you're plugging another function into another. Okay, with these, so for example, on part A, it says a translation 1 unit right and 1 unit down, then a translation of 3 units right, 3 units down. Right now, it gives us 2 translations. Wouldn't it be much easier if we just had one of them? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to work on putting them together. So in total, it told us 1 unit right and 3 units right. So what is that together?
4 units right.
4 units right. And we want to know for the y direction. So it says 1 unit down and 2 units down. What is that together? 3 units down. Now, the reason I wrote the rule in words is because we started with words. Okay, so I'm just keeping it consistent. Okay, so this would be our new rule for example 3a. Okay, that's much easier than performing one translation and then performing another. Okay. What do you notice about B? Is it in words? Is part B in words? No, it's in that rule form, right? So with these, what is this -4 telling me? Yeah, it's going left 4 because it's negative. What does this one tell me right here? Left 2. So if I'm going left 4 and left 2, what does that turn into? Left 6. Yep, and remember, we're going to keep it in the same form that we started with. Okay, so left 4 and left 2 turns into left 6. And then what does this 0 tell me? Nothing's happening, right? What does this 5 tell me?
5.
Up 5. So if we combine 0 and 5, we get 5. What did you notice we're doing with these values? We added them together. We took -4 plus a -2 to get our new x coordinate there, and we added 0 and 5 to get our new y coordinate. So no matter if they're positive or negative, you're just going to add them together to get the composition of that. Okay? All right, here's what I want from you. We're on the back of our notes here. On your graph paper, for numbers 5 and 6, I want you to use 2 graphs like we did for the EFG triangle. You're going to graph these 3 original coordinates on 2 of your graphs. Go. Graph those 3 coordinates on 2 graphs. Go. So for number 5, on its rule, what does this -4 mean? What direction am I going? Left. Yep, that's left 4. Okay, what does this minus 2 tell me? Down 2. So for every single point on your graph, you're going to go left 4, down 2. Capiche? Okay. I'll graph that up here for you so you can double check. What do you label your new points? Prime. Okay, this is what your number 5 should look like. Okay, go ahead and do number 6 also. I will put my number 6 in green. Okay. Okay, there's number 6. So the blue is my original, the red is my number 5, the green is my number 6. All right, let's go ahead and talk about these here. On number 7, again, when you're writing rules for translations, doesn't matter which one you start with. To get the right answer, do you have to start with a certain one? You do, right? Which one do you have to start with? The original. So I'm just going to label this my Roman numeral 1. Okay, and remember the prime symbols, those are your new. So I'm going to label that Roman numeral 2. I am on number 7. Okay, so we're going to practice writing both rules here. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so let's talk about this rule first. Okay, when you're writing the rules, do I have to count every single point? Like, do I have to count A, B, C, and D? No, why? They should all be the same, right? So we can pick a point. I'm just going to pick C. Okay, so how far do we move C in the X direction? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. One thing the other class did is they went from C to A prime, but where do we want to go to? C prime. Yep. So I agree it is 7. Is it positive or negative 7? Positive because we're going right. Okay, what about our Y value here? Down 3, so that's going to be negative 3. How do we write that in this form here? What would that turn into? X plus 7 and Y minus 3. I am going to want you to do both of those whenever we write rules. Okay, but do you agree they say the same exact thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right, last couple here. Let's look at number 8 and 9. Okay. It wants us to turn 2 translations into 1, so we're doing compositions. When they're written in this form, what are we doing? We're adding them together, right? So 7 plus a negative 3 gives us 4. And then 8 plus a negative 4 is 4. So that gives me my new 1 translation. What about the bottom one there? Number 9. What do we get? Yes, we add these together. 0 plus 4 is 4. What do I get for the Y value? Yes, because we add 3 and 6 to get 9. Okay.